look up how long would it take us to know when the sun explodes? Like how long would it
If
take?
it's tomorrow, what do we do? Do we still put out the video? And we're live. Tyler doesn't even know what we're going to talk about. We got a few topics, but I didn't tell him which one we're going to do. It just happens to be aliens. All right, so
Not real.
case closed. End of story. So, a lot of buzz about aliens, a lot of buzz about drones. There's different stuff the government's releasing. I've been hearing lately that the mothership is coming and it's going to invade Earth.
Yeah.
It's going to be like the movie Independence Day here pretty quick. With who was it? Will Smith was the fighter pilot in that. Will Smith. You watched that movie, right? Independence Day.
Yeah.
From
the one from a long time ago.
From back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember it though.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, Sean, do you think aliens are real? And well, you know what? Let's step back. What are aliens?
Well, they cross our border all the time.
Okay. Well, technically not wrong.
Whether it's from the ocean or from the northern or southern border, but they're jumping the wall basically. No,
Inclined to.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people. So there are different ways to look at aliens, right? So we have the spooky boys that are flying in the flying saucers and crash land, and the government, is reverse engineering their technology.
Yep.
Then we have, when we're talking about aliens, are we also just talking about intelligent life in general, right? That's not from this Earth.
Sure.
I think actually this week there was it was found that there's biological made matter from an asteroid. I forget the specifics of it, but it was something kind of wild, where it's like it shouldn't be like that, but it is. So, maybe we can talk about cloud or I think it's called space seeding or asteroid seeding, where the top where it's like there's some kind of matter, biological matter that is on asteroids throughout the universe or multiverse, whatever it is, and as they impact other planets, it kind of impregnates them with whatever that biological information is, and that's how you start off from cells to whatever.
Yeah.
But no, I'm the big question for I think more people than more people can relate to this question, I think, than just the aliens that are on our social media nowadays. Is there an intelligent life out there? And I think it would be pretty hard to say that there's not some sort of other intelligent life, whether it's more intelligent than us, whether it's less intelligent. If they can see some prey out there and know that they need to go eat that to survive. I mean, there has to be other stuff out there, So.
Okay, so I here's my thing with aliens. I don't think there's like aliens that came to the Earth like UFOs and crash landing and everything. I don't think it's ever happened. But
it's because we were always here.
I do think there is life out there. I do think species that came to Earth, biblical species, and there's things out there in the universe that we don't understand or never seen. And here's my thing too, like.
Oh, didn't you just say that you don't think stuff came to Earth, but then you're saying biblically there was?
Okay, so what I'm saying is the stuff like, okay, in the movies with UFOs crashing into Earth, I don't think that's how, like they say like in the 60s when they saw the UFOs, I don't think that was a real thing, I don't think it happened in my opinion. But what I am saying that I do think there's biblical beings, quote unquote, aliens that have visited the Earth, meaning there is life out there outside of Earth. But, what's interesting for me is like, here's what's always like. This is what always tripped me up, and we've talked about this. Is humans are stuck in time. Like for us to, they say like I don't know, like Jupiter or, uh, you know.
No, we're stuck in space. Time is linear; it's always going forward. But
Yeah, but no, like
what
and
what
time
you're
in the
getting
sense
at?
is how long the amount of time it's going to take us to get there. It's going to go beyond our lifetime.
So outside of our, I mean, who's to say that there's not intelligent life in our solar system, right? But
That's not what I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying
you're saying
is,
outside the solar system.
look, this is what I'm saying.
I need you to clarify right now.
This is what I'm saying. Humans are stuck in time in the sense that for us to go into the universe to these other planets, it would take longer than we have our capability in our lifetime. Because humans live like top 120. That's like lucky 110.
You haven't heard of the recent Social Security,
Alright,
through
they're
the
down at
government. There's
80.
like people like 300 years old,
Yeah.
claim,
Well,
claiming our taxpayer dollars.
look, they're aliens, alright?
Well, they could be.
They could. So, but aliens or something that with the capability to probably visit Earth, probably not stuck in time. So what says that they didn't come here before we were here, or did they come after we were here? Because for them, it could be, for us, 1,000 years. To them, it's like a few days.
Who's to say that they're physical beings?
You're 100% right.
What if they're interdimensional?
Oh, I don't think we not interdimensional. What are you getting at? Interdimensional.
Oh, if they're not physical beings, what else would it be?
Well, it could be. Well, it's clearly okay. Clearly, if there's something that comes to Earth, and we've never seen it before, it's technology and that we don't understand.
Could it be Project Bluebeam?
It's Jesus.
Have you heard of Project Bluebeam?
No, I don't know what you're talking
So
about.
Project Bluebeam is, I don't know if it's supposed to be just our government, but it's a way that the government has a way to like put holograms in our environment. So I know China and Dubai.
Clouds.
No, not just clouds. The actual, just the air. So which
So you're getting at some little
trying
stuff.
to wrap your brain around that one's kind of hard, but they can illuminate the sky. I think it really just happens maybe at night. I don't know. Maybe they can do it in the daytime, but it could look like a whale is flying or a dragon's flying. I think China just did one recently. But yeah, so it doesn't have to be physical, and the videos that we see out there, generally it's like somebody from Venezuela with a shaky camera and it's blurry and you can't see shit half the time.
Sure. Okay, but with the alien thing, it's like, what if we're just minute to them in the sense that
We're ants or we're part of a sitcom.
sure, we're just nothing. So what if that,
Next
'cause
week on Earth.
obviously we feel like we're important, and we feel like we're the top dog on the pyramid scheme of Earth.
Well, we're the center of the universe, first off. Center of the solar system.
We are,
You know.
but we also could be minute, sir. And and what if again, clearly they have technology, whatever you want to call it, that we don't understand. Let me ask you this: do you think we will ever get to the point where we will get to another planet and find life? Because think about this for a second, kind of before you answer that question, for the audience too.
I'll wait.
You will wait. So all right, not to get off topic.
You know what we should do is just have a podcast where you just ask me a bunch of questions but tell me not to respond and then we just cut off the podcast.
All right. So think about the pyramids and the Egyptians in ancient civilizations.
Mm-hmm.
I will argue they have technology that we do not understand. Because it's like if America or the world was destroyed, we started over.
What were the pyramids used for?
Oh, that's a whole conversation.
Is that
Different
a coffin?
Hey, I'm gonna let you ask the question, but I'm not responding. So, but so you take the pyramids clearly. So if they have technology that we do not understand, so Earth right now got blown up. And some people lived, hunter gatherers, as you would say, and they survived, and we started civilization. They would do it a different way. They probably build houses different. They would farm different. You get the point. So if past civilizations were able to tap into this technology that we don't understand, just the same as like aliens or something on another planet could be tapping into that technology that we don't understand, and they're more advanced than we are. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I think time is hard for people to grasp.
Dude, time is a crazy thing to think about.
And if if a civilization, let's say China, let's say the whole Earth
Yeah.
stands still, but China gets to keep going for another 1,000 years. They didn't really start becoming jeez, a modern civilization until America started helping them out, kind of thing. So I think it's like the 70s is when they really started to go from like third world to kind of the direction they're going now.
Yeah.
So imagine if they continued that another 1,000 years. I mean, it
Yeah.
would be. We probably couldn't even see them from a satellite. Like the whole place would be under a cloaking guise, and you watch the Avengers or Wakanda or whatever, where like
Yeah.
there's cities there, but it's
Yeah.
in a bubble. Like I'm sure that kind of stuff is gonna be happen too. But we wouldn't know it, right? We can be walking right outside that bubble and not have a clue that it's there.
Yeah.
But it's technology that's there. We just aren't aware of it, right?
Yeah.
So 100 years ago in America, everything's very mechanical, very straight to the point, very observable. But nowadays we have stuff like AI where it's like, well, how does it work? Well, it computes. Well, how the hell does it compute? Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, outside of the Earth, and if there is intelligent life forms out there, it would be really hard to believe that they would have stuff that we wouldn't first not be able to detect, let alone understand.
Wait, so you're saying it would be hard to believe they have this technology?
No, I'm saying it would be hard to believe that they wouldn't, right?
Uh-huh.
Like for sure, if there is intelligent life out there, even if they're at the same point that I guess that kind of cancel out.
Well, yeah, like because you're saying like basically it's hard to believe that there's alien life, or say, let's say a planet. To simplify this, there's another planet with aliens on it that are not more advanced than us. But there also could be the other end of the spectrum where there's a planet, say aliens, that are behind us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's crazy to think about.
Okay, so this kind of this puts a spin on it. So
Yeah.
we're talking about time, and I mentioned space, right? So we have two planets. One is Earth, and one is super Earth in another solar system.
Sure.
So let's say we're at the exact same technological advancements, and like literally, there's a Sean and Tyler podcast on the other planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Super Earth.
Mm-hmm.
If we left our Earth to go to that super Earth, depending on how long it took, let's say a long time, they are going to be more advanced than us. So especially if they're like light years away, that's going to take us a long ass time to get to that place, right? I think the closest system that seems like it might have habitable planets. I can't remember if it's like 4 point something light years or 7. But regardless, if anything's over past our solar system, it's just insane to even think about. Like we have combustion engines, right? Like that, how are we going to go somewhere with that? So if we don't use combustion, what do we use? Some kind of gravity thing, which we hear people talking about, but we have no clue how that even works, right?
Yeah, dude. The thinking about time, it holds us back. Because, like you're saying, the universe is so massive.
That's why I don't have watches.
But the universe is so massive that, dude, it's mind blowing. And how are we gonna get around time? Dude, like I've heard like time warping, like I think it's a wormhole. Like
so the
how do we get? And then
well,
also then there's like
you have to let me.
you ain't saying a thing.
I'm not answering nothing.
There's also getting around the aspect of going so fast, our bodies being able to inherently put up with that speed.
Well,
Sure, there's technology.
I think it's different in space though. So yesterday, did you watch the space launch?
I did not.
Okay, so Elon
Oh, to go save the.
launched the big boy rocket with people on the top of it
Yeah.
to go save the people in
Yeah.
the International Space Station.
That's
And
the
today they're actually supposed to be docking. In fact, while we're talking about this, let me pull up.
Because they've been there for 9 months, I think. And they're saying they were also kind of goes with what I was just saying, but they're saying how like them being in space for so long is like making their bones age. Elon was saying, I think in that podcast too with Joe Rogan, how
So it'll dock approximately 11 p.m. What is that, our time?
Saturday, so it's gonna be tonight.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so later tonight. So the reason why I brought that up though is because, um, so as soon as the rocket ignites,
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it jumps like 10 feet. Like it just starts going, right? And there's a lot of thrust there, clearly. So yeah, there's G forces there. There's G forces of them continually increasing in speed as the rocket gets higher. As the rocket gets higher, I think it's basically breaking free from the gravity. There's always going to be some gravity, but it's breaking free of like the majority of the Earth gravity. And there's also less atmosphere for it to push through. So as it gets higher, it gets faster.
Sure.
So when they're on the outside of the atmosphere, or in space, yesterday I saw them peak at about, I think it's either 27,000 or 28,000 miles an hour. They're not feeling G forces when it gets to that. So they're feeling G forces escaping gravity, but as soon as there's like technically no gravity, they're not really feeling the G forces. So if they go to thrust their ship, then that creates some kind of artificial gravity where they're going to be going the opposite direction of the momentum that they're creating with the ship. So if they're going forward, they'll be pushed back in their seats, right? So they'll feel those G forces, but as they're kept up with the ship, they wouldn't feel thousands of miles an hour. So if we traveled at speed of light, if it's done right, I don't think that you would feel the G forces. I think it's more about what we think is a mathematical problem of being able to move. Sir, let me finish. Being able to move matter at speed of light. Apparently, that's a mathematical problem.
Yeah, but we didn't have to go fast at the speed of light. How? Okay, so
why am I in such a rush?
How you should look up speed of light. 1 light year. How many years is that in a human life? That's interesting to think about. Because let's see, speed of light, 1 light year to a human year. How would you say that?
What the hell are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say if you go.
Hold on, let me make it to where they can see how goofy this question is.
I'm trying to say.
There we go. There we go. So what are you trying to ask?
Okay, so the speed of light. So 1 light year
is
how many years in a human life?
Okay, so how
far?
So how this works? So I'm sorry.
Let's know this now.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hey, they don't. People out there that don't know.
Okay, so speed of light.
Yeah.
Is how fast light photons can travel, right?
Sure.
And 1 light year is the distance the photons traveled in 1 year, which happens to be the same year as what we're living right now, except for one caveat.
Okay, so it's 365 days.
Yeah.
So 1 light year.
It also depends on.
Okay. How fast you're going?
Gravity. So if you're traveling like by a black hole, there's something called time dilation, which starts to get into something that I don't understand. But when there is a ton of gravity, it's like you're moving through more space than you actually are. I think is the idea.
I know what you're talking about. You just basically you're talking about faster ways to get through space. But my whole point here is 1 light year is 365 days, correct? If you look at any planet, the closest planets to us, Neptune.
Well, are we using a Earth light year or a super Earth light year?
Oh, a super Earth light year. So look up like Neptune, or look up a planet right now. How many light years away it is? How do we escape time? These are the closest planets to us. This is my point. we were gonna of speed, and the speed we're gonna have to go in a rocket ship, per se.
Okay, so for each planet, they're minutes and hours.
Okay.
So the furthest one, oh, it doesn't have Pluto or Planet X on here. But for Neptune, it's 4.2 light hours, right? So just imagine how far a light year is. How many hours is in a year?
Okay, now you're getting me all. That's just way too much. We need ChatGPT.
So 8,060 hours.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's do some math here. So 4.2 light hours.
Yeah.
Okay, so 8,060.
Sir, it's 8,760.
Oh yeah, 8,760 divided by, what is it, 4.2?
Yeah.
So to travel one light year,
Uh-huh.
or in 1 light year, you can pass by 2,085 Neptunes. That is a long ass way.
Exactly. So my point, sir, is that's in our solar system, right?
No, that's just in general.
Okay, but
Well,
these
yeah,
planets,
that's just the planets.
bro. That's just in our little solar system. Okay.
Trump would say we have a big solar system. It's one of the best that we've ever seen.
By the way, America owns the solar system. Okay, but my point is, we're gonna have to go way faster than the speed of light, unless there's some weird way, like you were just talking about, where we can get around, to get somewhere faster. But yeah, dude, I don't know. You're gonna have to go so fast. I don't, they're gonna have to. There's gonna have to be some technology in rockets.
Okay, so Alpha Centauri, which it may be wrong, but I think that's part of Orion's belt, the constellation.
Okay, but look at what it says. It's 4. Okay, so this Alpha Centauri system is about 4.4 light years away.
Mm-hmm.
We can't even go that far.
Man, I guessed it 4.2 or 4.4.
You said 4.2.
Damn, that's so off,
bro. So 4.4 light years away. We're not going there. It's not happening.
Well, we are definitely not. and even if we could, they're definitely not putting Sean Tyler on a. Well, maybe they would, just to kind of get us out there, right? But yeah, that is a long ways away.
Okay, look, not just a quick yes or no. Does AI solve this problem with speed and going through space?
Well,
just curious.
I mean, presuming that it will create new forms of travel. So, if something is better than combustion or some sort of, I don't even know, nuclear power or solar sails, if you've heard of that. There's different theories that they have for traveling in space, but to travel like the fastest, I don't think we have anything that.
Yeah, but look, what if you show the AI, like, this is the universe, this is the molecules.
I think the AI will show us.
The AI shows us, this is the universe, this is the molecules. This is where we want to go. This is how long we want to get there, how fast we want to get there. Tell us how to do it.
You know
and tell us how not to kill humans on the way.
So you're saying AI will tell us all existing materials.
Okay.
And saying, oh, no, hold on. Sir, give me 1 second. So, imagine we're still discovering stuff on the periodic table. I don't know when the last one was, but it wasn't that long ago for like isotope like 132 or something like that, 135 or something. Mm-hmm. So, and that's just of our material that we can find here, or I think make as well.
Sure.
But just imagine what else is out there. Maybe we don't have. So we use gas and diesel, right? For basically in coal for like all of our power, pretty much. Imagine if there's something out there that's just so much more efficient that we just don't know about, that we don't have access to it. So maybe we are like landlocked, like we're on an island and we can't swim across the ocean because we don't have, gas for the boat, kind of a thing.
Yeah, have you seen the Buzz, the Toy Story, like not with Toy Story, with the movie Buzz Lightyear is what the movie's called, where he goes to space and then he comes back, and then like heck of years go by, goes to space, come back, 10 years go by. I'm sure you haven't seen it, but
Well, you're talking about time dilation again. So the astronauts that are in space right now, they are living less time than we are by like a very micro amount, but they are technically younger if they live out there for a year and then come back than like their spouse.
yeah. So that's another thing that, and I don't understand this completely, but so say we get past the time part. So say we're able to travel in space really, really, really fast and get to planets that are like millions of light years away, which is crazy to think about. How do you get past the time difference here?
Did you just say millions of light years?
Oh yeah.
Sir, that's like the next universe over. I don't know. Actually,
I mean, that's the
oh,
key.
here's a okay. So where are you saying I'm gonna look up?
How do you get past aging of Earth? You know, like how does that like I said, the movie Lightyear with Buzz goes up to space, comes back, and his friends like age like 10 years, and like he goes to space like back and forth like at times, and he sees her like get older and older. Eventually, until she's like an old lady, and he doesn't age a bit.
Yeah, I mean that's time dilation because every time. So anytime you're in a lower gravity situation, you are technically living less time, I guess. But anytime you're in a higher gravity situation, like if you were to fly by a black hole, you might have just aged. Did you watch Interstellar?
Yeah, it is.
You know, so,
Yes,
so
exactly.
it's like the meme of like going there and hold on tight, we're gonna go 30 years or something. So he goes in the that movie gets pretty wild by the end of it, but
Oh,
he's
that's wild.
basically going in the future to help them to help them fix their
I
problem.
hated the ending, by the way.
The Tesseract,
No, of that movie Interstellar. I didn't like the ending.
right? But the ending, he's in a Tesseract essentially.
Well, yeah, he sees his daughter. She's like
Yeah,
on her bed, and she's like, "Yeah, I
yeah.
escaped."
There's some weird theories on that. So 90. So the observable universe, 93 billion light years. How many human years is that? No, so that's light.
Bro.
That's light years traveling at the speed of light. So that is a significant space.
And isn't the universe is constantly expanding?
Yes, and they think it's slowing down. There's also theory that we're seeing the edge of it because we can't see anymore. Like the what's the new telescope you were talking about
The
earlier?
James Webb telescope.
James Webb Telescope.
Look at the picture, sir.
Yeah, James Webb Telescope.
Have you ever seen it?
Oh yeah. Here,
Have you seen the images?
Let me images.
The images it's put out.
Yeah, so
Oh, don't.
they're interesting. So they provide more resolution, but it's not in the way that our eyes see it. I think because it's infrared, right? So it gets more data, but it's not the way that we would see it. So they're still having to like kind of like create what they think it's seeing to where we can see it.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole thing is so we can see space, like what we couldn't see before.
No, we're seeing basically the same shit that we saw before, just better resolution, essentially.
Really?
Yeah. So
I don't know about that.
JWST infrared, right? Is large segmented mirrors and collects infrared light. Yeah. So it's like when you look at stuff in infrared, it's not like we see these colored images. It's not pulling back like colored images. It's different, but they're able to form images that we see.
Yeah, and dude, that's another thing that's kind of crazy to wrap your head around is when they take these images and they receive it's like when we're seeing they're like you know years and years ahead. Like say let's say like the moon or whatever, but let's pretend the moon was way farther than it is. What we're seeing of the moon right now is not really what the moon really is. Like it's the reflection. Like when we're getting back, you know what I'm talking about? Is way behind what's actually happening at that current state with the moon. I mean, obviously the moon's like the closest, not like an example. It's not the farthest thing away, but I'm just saying. Does that make sense? What I'm saying though?
Yeah, I'm trying to get an image of it. So basically this.
Yeah.
So here's Big Bang.
Yeah.
And then here's 13.7 billion years. So the further to the right you get, which does this say where we are at all? Maybe it's not an actual. But basically, yeah, the further from Big Bang you get, the older something is technically.
Look up, because I'm just curious. Look up how long would it take us to know when the sun explodes? Like how long would it take?
If it's tomorrow, what do we do? Do we still put out the video? When
Dude, imagine if it was like.
will our sun die?
Well, not no. Like, how long would it take for us to know? Do you think it'd be instantly, or is it? Because I don't know how far the sun is, but like,
Oh well.
do you see what I'm saying?
So
Like,
okay, so how fast does plasma reach Earth from the sun?
let's see. It says 15, 18 hours. Oh, so we would know within. It would take.
We
About,
would know. We would party. Then it'd be all over.
so, but we would know in advance. We would know a little bit in advance then.
Well, we would see it. Okay, so instead of plasma, photons. I think it's 8 minutes. Yeah, 8 minutes. Man, I'm getting good at these guesses. So yeah, 8 minutes. We would see it within 8 minutes, and then we'd be like, "Oh shit, it's over," basically. So, and the government wouldn't have to say anything because all light on all of the Earth would be basically gone. I think there would still be some like radiated light from if it supernovas or whatever. Like we would see that, but. Somehow we would see that, but no, it would be. We would know well before, and we'd be sitting there in the dark, and the Earth would actually. I wonder how fast the Earth would cool. So within a week, okay. So the Earth wouldn't cool in time for us to be blasted by a supernova or something like that. But let's say it just disappeared. Earth wouldn't have light, and then it would just cool off within a week to where basically everybody would die and all plants would die and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I'm thinking.
Nice uplifting conversation. Right?
Oh yeah. So I'm thinking about our conversation about
the ocean freezing. Oceans would freeze over, but the deep water below. And see, that's like you look at. I think Titan is a moon that we think that there's water on or something. So you think of like the different bodies of planets or moons out there that we know have water. You know, they have ice, so they have water below. Just imagine what's in the oceans below. It could be the exact same things that we have.
Sure, but so we're talking about we're stuck in time, and then what were you saying about when they go and come back and Earth ages? What's it called again?
Time dilation.
So time, humans are stuck in time and time dilation. But what if they just don't send humans, they send robots? As we talked in our last podcast, that could get around a lot of the problems. Yeah, that can actually pretty much solve it. What do you think?
That's fixing this. So what about time dilation?
Well, humans are stuck in time and time dilation. So just don't send humans, just send robots. And then robots could go.
That's what I mentioned drones earlier. So I mean it would make sense that other planets or other civilizations, would use drones. But then it comes to their means of travel, right? So are they using portals? Are they using wormholes? Are they using combustion engines, which is most likely not happening, right? But or there's a theory that we're not alone, and that the oceans have stuff, or there's caverns that go to like other areas in the earth that we just don't really know about, but there's like conspiracy stuff about it, which I really hate the term conspiracy because the left media really push that as like something that's just so it should be it's like demeaning, like whoever's talking about something that's conspiracy doesn't know what they're talking about or whatever. But there's been times that things are proven, right? But anyways, so yeah, no, we're definitely stuck on the island, at least for now. We don't know how to start up the boat. We don't know how to had to strap a rocket to the boat so we can get to the other end of the ocean.
Why do you think we haven't gone back to the moon?
I think that's its own podcast.
Sure.
Is the moon real?
100%.
I don't think so. All right, I think that's a good cliffhanger. For
Yeah,
that.
think about that. Why haven't we gone back to the moon?
I mean, we're about to go to Mars. Elon announced either this morning or yesterday that by the end of next year we will be. I believe we're launching to go to Mars, and I don't know if it's manned or not. I think it would be manned, but yeah, no, coming soon. So,
So for the audience, think about that. Time is an issue.
actually, before we go, have
Yeah.
you ever thought you've seen an alien or like a spaceship or whatever?
No?
When I was like
Oh gosh.
5 or 10 or something, somewhere in there, camping out in the backyard at my neighbor's house, and we're in the tent and we're looking up. It's like the polyester, looking up, and you can see out, but it's kind of fuzzy. And we saw something fly over, and we ran inside. We saw a spaceship. We saw a spaceship. Now looking back, I realized
Your dad shook the tank.
it was an airplane.
All
All right, everybody.
Alright.
If you've ever experienced, aliens, spaceship, or if you have an opinion on what you think this stuff could be, I mean, we didn't even talk about like the drone situation, which maybe that'll be its own episode. But
Yeah.
if you have any of those kinds of experiences, or you'd want to hear us talk about anything else like this, go ahead and leave it in the comments. And bye, everybody.
Thank you.